Okay, so welcome to today's class, Social Studies. We are looking at the topic areas of social groups, institutions, their functions, and so we are going to be looking at some past paper questions in this regard. Now, just for your benefit, did you get a chance to go through these assignment sections? Not particularly to do the assignment, just to go through the material to refresh yourself, so that when you attempt to answer the questions, you would be aware. Did you get a chance to do that, Alex?
Yes.
All right, I know school is tough, you know, but it's very important that you find some time to actually do that, okay? In all the areas that you're studying, the math, this area, geography, and the English as well. I had a consultation. I'm just briefly speaking with you. Okay, and for this purpose, I raised. So now we're going through some CSEC Paper 2 Social Studies examination questions, past paper questions. Here we have a question on this area of social groups and institutions. A, the first part of the question asks us to identify two styles of leadership. Could you identify those two styles of leadership, Alex?
I'm not seeing your screen.
Oh, you do that. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, miss.
Are you seeing it? Wonderful. So we're doing the May 2005 CSEC examination paper 2, question 3. Okay, so the A part of the question asks us to identify two styles of leadership.
Autocratic and democratic.
Excellent. Democratic, which is also called participative, or autocratic, which is authoritarian. That's a second style of leadership, or let's say fair. Okay, so we would have gotten our 2 marks right there. Question B, state one way each of the styles of leadership you have identified in question 3A above affects interaction among the members of the group. So they're asking one way for each style. This has a score or a marks of 4 marks. So we know that each way that you explain for each style values 2 marks. Let's look at democratic first. What can we say about the style of leadership? One way that democratic style of leadership actually affects the interaction among members of the group. And what we're looking to see here is that we want to tie the main feature of the style of leadership to show how it is beneficial or not beneficial to the group, how it affects the group, okay, interaction in the group. So one of the things we can say is, because we know that the democratic style of leadership focuses on the collective well-being of the group, it is about the members achieving the goal together, shared decision-making, and therefore we know that in a group where democratic style of leadership is practiced, members will more likely feel a sense of belonging in the group, a sense of identity, because it is a collective effort where all persons or most persons, it is the decisions are actually made depending on the majority, suggestions from the majority in the group, okay? And so it will be, another thing is that it will be a source of motivation for the team members to really contribute and do their part to support the group. So that can be a positive effect on the interaction. If they are motivated, they will be willing to carry out their tasks and duties assigned in the group based on whatever they are delegated to do, okay? So that is one leadership style. let's look at another leadership style and see how it affects interaction among the members in the group. If we come to the authoritarian style of leadership now, remember we said that one main feature of this type of style is that there's no shared or little decision making that is shared among the members. And in fact, the leader expects the team members to follow his leading or the decisions he makes, to obey them without questioning them. Okay, now, how will this affect the interaction in the group? This definitely more likely will stir up conflict in the group and even internal competition, which we deem to be rivalry. Yes, it may cause rivalry or conflict in the group, since the opinions or the thoughts of group members, team members are not taken into consideration. All right, so stating those answers, we could have gotten our 4 marks. Okay, if we were to mention the laissez-faire aspect, we know that where laissez-faire is concerned, the group members are really left on their own to achieve the goals and to carry out whatever duties they have to carry out. So the leader really has little control over the group members. And that is one of the things where laissez-faire is concerned. So that style of leadership will definitely negatively affect the interaction. Persons in the group might not be willing to come to a consensus on anything. They all are individually doing their own thing. There's lack of unity, and therefore the likelihood of them achieving the goals is lowered, okay, or decreases. All right, let's go to part C. It asks us to give 3 reasons why a service club may have difficulty in achieving its goals. And this is 6 marks. It really indicates to us that 2 marks goes for each reason. So we need to answer, not just making a point, but developing that point, answering a sentence perhaps, so that we can get full marks for our answer. So here, when it asks for reasons why a service club may have difficulty in achieving its goal, we are looking towards, giving reasons for why the group may not be successful in achieving its goal, or why the group may break up instead of achieving its goal. So one of the things is lack of consensus. If the group members do not agree on what goals they're achieving, or the actions they want to take, or how they want to go about achieving something, the lack of consensus can cause disunity in the group, and that disunity can distract the members from really achieving their goals. All right, poor leadership is another important reason. If the leadership is not good, if the leadership is not positive to encourage group members to support, to be willing to participate, if the leadership is not such that it accepts the suggestion and listens to the voice or the opinions of the group members, then they are not going to be convinced to support that leader. So poor leadership is one of the main reasons why a service club may have difficulty in achieving its goal. Okay, another aspect or reason could be lack of financing. Okay, where service club is concerned, there may be certain tasks, certain projects that require financing, and if the service club is not able to come up with financing, that can be another aspect that deter them from really achieving their goal. All right, competition or rivalry among members internally too can be a distraction to members. So instead of working together to do their various tasks or whatever they are delegated to do, they may be working against each other or drop hands in terms of not wanting to do anything. There we would have gotten 3 reasons why a service club may have difficulty in actually achieving its goal. Okay, good. So let's go down to the 4th part of the question D. Now, this part values 5 marks. As the leader of a youth club now, can we suggest 2 actions that can be taken to encourage members to participate in groups? Can you think of any actions that the leader of the youth club can take to actually encourage members to want to do things in the group, to participate in the group activities, Alex? What would encourage you to participate in a group? What action by the leader?
Have the group different members of the group try to come up with activities that they actually want to do.
All right, very good suggestion. So the leader can actually invite suggestions or listen to the opinions of the group members so that they can have a part in the decision making. Yes, and if they share their own ideas in terms of making the decisions, the likelihood, because remember, now you have to explain why it will work now. The likelihood is that because they had a part in contributing to the decision, they will be more likely to do what is necessary to achieve whatever is to be achieved, or to participate in the group activities. Okay, so that was a very good answer, Alex. All right, another thing too that can be done is that the group leader should not act domineering or superior to the team members. Okay, that is one of the things. How members are treated in the group have a big impact on how they in turn respond in terms of their willingness to participate in group activities. Another thing I'm going to mention is group leaders, such as the leader of a youth club, need to be concerned about the human needs of people as well. So it is not only about the physical aspect of actually completing the task, achieving the goal, doing the actual thing that needs to be done in the group, whatever activity it is, but also having concern about the human needs. If the group leader is concerned about them and shows certain concessions or, you know, certain concerns for them, then they will be willing to participate and even go above and beyond the duties that they are assigned, especially in terms of participating in group activities. All right, so delegating is important. All right, which would be another aspect. The group leader can delegate activities or duties or tasks, okay, so that the team member has full autonomy in terms of using their own skills and ideas to complete the task and not being micromanaged by the group leader. All right, good. So those are some of the answers we could supply for that one. All right, you see how easy it is to get the 17 marks there, Alex? Yes, but one of the things you must realize is that the strategy questions really force candidates doing the exam or students to really think outside the box in terms of practical things that can be done to solve problems. So it is very solutions oriented, problem solving in other words. So now we come to the January 2009 CSEC examination paper. Paper 2, this time it is question 2. What I want you to notice here, Alex, is that you notice there are repeated questions, and that happens a lot. And that is why it's important that we really take the time to go through these questions so we can become familiar with the ways by which or in which questions are stated. Again, you're asked to identify A, for this question, 2 marks, 2 leadership styles. Again, you would say authoritarian or autocratic. Second one, you could say democratic or participating. Third one, you could say laissez-faire. Any 2 of those will give you the marks. So let's look at B now, which values 4 marks. State 2 ways in which group members may show their dissatisfaction with a particular leadership style. Can you think of any way that group members can show that they are not satisfied with the way the leaders actually lead in the group, Alex?
make a polite suggestion, miss, to those.
Okay, or if they are dissatisfied, they may not accept the decisions or the rules or whatever guidelines, whatever it is that the leader is imposing on them, okay? And they may resist it in that they may refuse to actually carry out the task. They may not accept duties or tasks that are assigned to them, and that shows that they are dissatisfied, all right? Another thing we can identify here is that sometimes it is a situation where they can, and usually these are, in strong cases of dissatisfaction, they might even vote out the leader at an opportunity at a time when they have that, or occasion when they have that opportunity. Because the fact is, if they are dissatisfied with the particular style of leadership, they may not want that person to lead them anymore. And so given the opportunity to vote against that person, likely they are going to take it to select another person who they feel would make a better leader. So that is another way they can express their dissatisfaction. All right, good. Let's go to C, 6 marks, disparate values. Give 3 reasons why members remain committed to a group. And here, actually, we're looking at social groups, and these are the reasons why groups exist, or the reasons why groups are started. Can you think of any reasons why persons remain a part of a group, Alex? How does the group benefit them? In other words, that's what the question is asking you. Why they would want to be a part and stay a part of the
group. Because of health reasons, like if it's a gym, a group that goes to the gym.
So basically, you're saying there is a shared goal. They have a similar goal. All of them want to keep healthy or keep fit. That is why they would continue being a part of that gym group. All right? So it's not just to be healthy, it's really because they have a shared goal. It gives them an opportunity to achieve a goal or the group goals, whether these are formal or informal. So that is one of the answers. But it's just how you stated, Alex, right? So, all right, good. Another reason why members remain committed to a group is because groups exert great influence in both society and on human behavior, okay? A third reason is that groups actually provide avenues or ways for persons to learn leadership skills or to gain leadership. And so that is one of the ways. And then it also helps them develop skills in decision making. Yes, they get the opportunity to learn to make decisions when they are delegated with responsibilities or leadership roles. Another thing too is that groups give their members status, and especially when important roles are assigned to individual members. Okay, so in a group, for example, if you are in the school leadership, the student leadership group, you might be a prefect, you might be a student council representative, you may be a monitor for a class, or some other head boy, head girl, deputy head boy, deputy head girl. Those are responsibilities. Those are leadership positions. So in that, you are looked up to by the other. Usually, you gain the trust and the admiration or the respect of other individuals in the group. So you have a status because you have a position that carries with it certain responsibility. All right, you're playing an important role that is assigned to you, and you're learning the leadership skills in that task. Groups also give members a sense of belonging. Okay, so we have examples of peer groups and in-groups that do that. And groups are also a source of physical companionship. and they provide emotional security. So any three of those, Alex, would have given you your 6 marks. Let's go down to the final part of this question. And here it says, suggest one way in which the leader of a youth club may encourage the members to work together to achieve their goals. After we've done suggesting that way, we need to state why it will be successful. So 0 in again, 5 marks on the way that the leader of the youth club can encourage the members to work together to achieve their goals. Can you think of anything the group leader can do to encourage them, Alex? To put in the work, to work together? Can we think of any way? What can be done by the group leader to get them to really be committed to working with the group? What about giving them individual tasks, delegating them with responsibility, allowing them to take care of their responsibilities in the group? And when they do well, what should the leader do? When they've done a good job on the project, what should the leader do?
Reward them.
Say it again.
Reward them.
Reward, very good. That's what I'm looking for. Reward them. Give them, they can give commendation or praise to the individuals, the team members, for the task that they have carried out successfully. And they can be rewarded in other ways. And not just, well, it can be monetary, it can be incentives, it can be even in terms of education, you know, helping to increase their knowledge in some way, giving them more responsibility or a higher position, a promotion. All of that can be a reward. All right? Yes. Okay. So those are several ways that the youth club leader can encourage the members to work together to achieve their goals. All right? And why will this work? You're going to explain. When someone, it says, you get pay, commendation, sweetens labor. Okay? So if a person is commended or praised for what they do, they're going to feel good about it. They're going to be motivated to do even more. All right? So that is one way, reason why you're sure it will be successful. If a person is delegated with responsibility and allowed to use their thinking ability to make the decisions in terms of how they carry out that responsibility and everything and fulfill the task, and at the end of it, they see that it's successful, that will help them to build confidence in their skills, in themselves, in their self-esteem, to take on other tasks as well, to be willing to take on other tasks and work in the group to achieve greater goals. Okay, good. So those are some of the suggestions you can mention. And right there, you would have gotten your 17 marks. Okay. Try to take another one here. Now, this one mainly concerns the social groups. Okay. This is the May 2009 CSEC examination paper 2, question 2. Now, the first part of the question, part A, numeral I, says define the term social groups. Social group. So I want you to think about this in just a little while and tell me how you would define a social group, Alex. We ran through this earlier. In the precursor to this session where we ran through the handouts. So what is a social group?
Social group is 2 or more people who interact with one another. And
yes, what's something more on it? What is common between them? They have
share.
what? Share what?
Similar goals or
Yes, that's it, hit the nail on the head. Right, very good. So two or more persons who share common goals and work together to achieve those goals or that goal. So you would have had the answer there. Another way we could state the definition of social group, we could say any number of persons, two or more, with similar norms, values, goals, expectations, who interact together on a continuous basis. Okay? Yes. So that would be a social group. Now we're going to the second part. A to I, numeral I, 2 marks. Apart from the school, can you name 2 social groups to which children belong? Which other groups do children belong to? Not the school now, because we know the school is one, but they don't want you to give that example.
Church.
All right, so children belong to church, but the entire group is not a church, but it's accepted. All right. Any other? Just 2 they want from you? And we're thinking mainly of children being in the group. Okay. But I don't think you would get it wrong anyway. Any other you can think of? Youth club, 4-H club, key club. Any of those youth groups. Children are part of the family, right? Cadet, Boy Scout, Girls Guide. Those are some examples of groups children are a part of. Okay, the peer group can be a group of children as well. Though it can be a group of adults, but it can be a group of children. So those are some examples. Good. Any 2 of those will suffice and you get 2 marks. Now we go to the third part of A. Identify 2 characteristics of an informal group. We looked at that as well on the handout. 2 characteristics of informal groups. Informal, yes, informal groups. And we say characteristics, Alex, we mean 2 main things about it, that when you see these things identified in that group, it shows you that it must be that type of group. It cannot be an informal group without having these 2 things that are identified. That is what we mean by characteristics, okay? So remember, we gave some examples of informal group like gang, a group of footballers in a community, always playing ball together. That is a informal group, all right? A peer group, a study group is an informal group. Can you tell me any 2 characteristics of any such informal group?
There's no written rules.
Excellent. No written rules, or if you say unwritten rules, you get that right. That is 1 characteristic. Can you give me another?
No clear leader.
No clear lines of authority or leadership. All right, no clear lines of authority or leadership. So in that case, the leader may just spontaneously become the leader, like in a gang, okay? But there's not a set system to say how the leader will be elected or appointed. All right, very good. Okay. Also, we know that these informal groups, the sanctions are not written as well. They are spontaneously formulated, all right, according to the rules that are broken. All right, so we understand that. So those are some good examples, Alex, of characteristics for informal group. Let's look at part B that values 6 marks. Now we're asked to explain 3 ways in which young people benefit from membership in formal groups. How do they benefit from membership in formal groups? So the school is a formal group. Can they benefit from being in a school?
Yes, miss.
Okay, tell me some ways.
benefit by getting an education out of school.
So when children, okay, so we have to kind of taper that, all right? So I use the school as an example, but remember now, the question is a general question when it's a formal social groups. So you can answer the question and then you give the example of the school, all right? So the fact that it's educating, any formal social group that young people are a part of, they can learn skills and be educated in various areas of life. Because guess what now? These are opportunities, they get opportunities to learn as they, especially if they have a position of leadership or they're assigned some position to carry out some tasks in the group, they learn as they carry out those tasks, okay? So that is one of the ways they benefit. Another way is that these young people, they learn, they gain the opportunity to make rules. Because remember, informal social groups, you know, they have to have rules in the group, rules for behavior and all of that. So they gain the opportunity or have the opportunity to make the rules in the group, all right, and to abide by them. Because usually, likely, if they're the ones that make the rules, they are more likely to make rules that they will find reasonable to follow or to obey. And they will be more willing to obey the rules if they had a part, they played a part in actually making the rules, all right? Also, they get a sense of belonging and identity in the group, all right? As a formal group, all right? They learn leadership skills and all of that, all right? And even in terms of decision making, they get practice in making decisions as well, yes. And one of the ways that they describe the benefits that young people get in groups too, or anyone get in groups, is that groups provide avenues of leadership. So formal groups. So they may be in an informal group, they may not definitely become a leader because the number of leaders are usually fewer in informal groups. But in a formal group now, like in a gang, and one man at the done. In a study group, usually is one person leading the way and the others just listen and follow, all right? But in a formal group now, because it is structured, there are various avenues for scope for promotion, scope for taking on different leadership roles and responsibilities, which is a training, having your platform for them as well, all right? Let's go to the final part of the question, which is part C, values 5 marks. As a leader of a school group, you are to suggest one activity to encourage members to identify with the group's goals. And you're going to state why you believe this activity will be successful. So one activity that will encourage members to identify with the group goals. And what you will notice, I don't know if you noticed it, Alex, but you notice the similarity of most of these questions on the various papers of the different year. Do you notice that, Alex?
Yes, miss.
Yes. So these solution questions or strategy questions toward the end of the whole body of the question, the latter part of it with a part C or D, as we come down to the end of the question, you will notice that the answers tend to be similar based on what they are asking for. So we want a suggestion now. What will encourage the members to identify with the group's goal, to feel that the goal that the group want to achieve is my goal that I want to achieve too? And it's very similar to some of those that we pointed out earlier. What about being given an opportunity to vote in the decision making or be a part of the decision making? To express, the members of the group express their own opinion, and their opinions are taken into consideration when the decision is made, or the final decision made is made on the basis of what the majority has proposed. Don't you think that will encourage the members to identify with the goals of the group, since they had a part in suggesting the actual goals or what the group should move towards achieving? Yes, so that is one of them. Delegating responsibility is another. If persons don't play a part in contributing or doing something, doing tasks or duties in order for the group to achieve its goals, then they will not feel vested in it. They will not feel invested like they have a part. I'm going to give you a prime example. Most schools have houses which are involved in sports, okay? So the houses are actually a group of students. The student body right across the school are divided into different groups, various groups. And each group of students will make up a house. So they will participate in various physical and sport activities in terms of internal competitions at the school. Friendly rivalry that help them to flex their muscles, see who can run faster, see who can do the various sports better than the other, and so on, while they are also working as teams, being united, and all of that to assist their houses in winning on sports day. All right, good. Now, those who run for the houses, or they do long jump for the houses, or they do any activity event for their houses, and even if they come once, they help the house to get a medal, or they help the house to get some points by participating, how do you think those persons feel? At the end of the day, when their house wins or come high up in the rankings, they are going to feel good on. And why are they going to feel good, Alex? Because they played a part in putting the group there. Huh? They had a certain responsibility that was delegated for them to go run in the 100-meter sprint or the 200-meter sprint or the 1500 or do the long jump or the high jump. Huh? They had a certain delegated task and they carried it out and they did it successfully. So they are going to be encouraged to identify with the group's goal because they are playing a part in achieving it. All right, good. Any one of those would assist you in getting the marks, okay? All right, so we would have gotten our 17 marks right there quite easily. And perhaps now we can move down to January 2010, CSEC examination paper 2, this time question 3. Now we don't have as many parts to the question, but it still values 17 marks. 3 parts to the question. Let's see how we can answer this. A, outline 3 characteristics of authoritarian leadership. I want you to try and give me one of those characteristics of authoritarian leadership. One of the main things you can describe about the authoritarian style of leadership would be a characteristic of that type leadership style.
That style of leadership allows little input or little or no input from the rest of the group members.
Excellent. You hit the nail on the head. Yes, little or no input invited or accepted from members of the group. So the members of the group do not share in decision-making, in the decision-making process. All right? That is a vital part of it. And they're expected to follow through without questioning. Okay? Another important characteristic is that there is a focus or an emphasis on completing the task or achieving the goal. Okay? Completing the task or achieving the goal at whatever cost it takes to do so. All right? And that is a major characteristic of the authoritarian style of leadership. All right? Another thing we can mention is that there is little or no opportunity for the members of the group to voice their opinions in this group, okay? And so we know that that is the authoritarian style of leadership. Another thing I'm going to mention is that there is little or no delegation of duties or responsibilities. The leader takes on most or everything by themselves. And so that is why they usually end up with the majority of the decision making on their own, without the real consent or input of the other members. So we could have gotten our 6 marks right there, and we outlined these in sentences, Alex. Just like we explained here a while ago, you outlined it in a sentence nicely like that. Okay, so we have the next part B now, value 6 marks. We're asked to give 3 reasons why the democratic style of leadership is usually considered the best style of leadership. And again, you realize this is a repetition of some of the other questions. It is asking you for some of the characteristics that when you compare it to the authoritarian style, make it better than that, or make it beneficial as opposed to the authoritarian style. So what are some of the things we can mention that would make the democratic style of leadership the best style of leadership to use or to consider to use? I want you to give me at least one of them.
It would be considered the best because
How does it benefit the group? What is good about it? That's what they're gonna state. And so you're really looking on the opposite of what you mentioned in the A part, you know, about authoritarian.
you have the input of the rest of the group to tackle like complex problems.
Yes, very good answer. And especially because remember, no one person knows everything or has all the skills necessary to complete every task or the talents necessary to complete every task. So by virtue of using the democratic style of leadership, the fact that duties, responsibilities are delegated to several persons in the group, it means that the responsibility is shared, and those persons, the team members, can actually use their particular talents and skills and knowledge that they each have to contribute so that they all help in achieving the goal. Like they say, 2 heads better than 1. And so if more people have more to contribute, since they have the talents added among them, the skills added among them, the knowledge added up that all of them have is more than the one leader has. Okay, so the democratic style will definitely help them in that way to achieve more, all right, than they would have if they tried the authoritarian style. Another thing we can mention is that the democratic style, because the leader is more interested in the individuals achieving and the group achieving, it actually raises the morale of the group members, okay? It raises their morale and it reduces the tension and conflict that may arise between individuals, okay? Yes, because the focus is not just on achieving the goal at whatever cost. It is about achieving the goal in a way that the members are benefited as well. All right, good. So you would have mentioned that as another reason why the democratic style is one of the best ways to use. And we could say that the democratic style really motivates team members because of the fact that they have a part to play in the decision making and in the advancement of the group, okay? Another thing is that because the leader accepts suggestions from the group members or uses the majority as a basis for decision making, groups like these that have democratic style of leadership really focuses on the collective well-being of the group. It's not about the individual shining above everybody else. It is about the entire group doing well together, achieving the goal. All right, good. So we have that answer. We would have secured our 6 marks. Let's go to the final part of this question now. And it asks us, C, The new executive committee of a sports club has been elected. You are asked to suggest one guideline that may help the committee to lead effectively. And we're going to say why that guideline will help. So the committee has elected a leader. No, it's not a single leader. The new executive committee for the sports club has been elected. So it's a group has been elected. Now, what is one of the guidelines that they should follow in order to effectively lead the sports club? What advice would you give them? Could you tell them what style of leadership to use? Could that be one of them?
Yes, miss.
What style of leadership would you suggest?
Democratic style.
Good, so that is a startup. The participative, you could suggest that they use the participative or democratic style of leadership. And so, with the executive members on the committee who know their job, the fact that they know their job, they are knowledgeable, they are skilled in their area, if they allow all the members to make a contribution, to have an input, then guess what? There will be more willingness to work unitedly on the team, on the committee. All right. Another aspect, which I don't think we mentioned it in this one, but we mentioned it in a previous question. The executive committee need not only to be focused on just simply achieving the goals, but they need to focus too on the human aspect of the team members. How can they build the team? How can they build the morale of the team? All right. Something they can do is they can build teamwork by helping the members with their problems, okay? And provide psychological support for team members as individuals, as a group, while they're working together as a group, okay? Yes, all right. And also, they can ensure that the tasks are delegated equally. It can be delegated according to the skill level and the knowledge or the talent of the individuals who can do a certain thing better if they have more experience in that. But it should be equally delegated or reasonably delegated so that the results can be consistent, okay? Get results by consistently keeping and urging the group members to produce, to carry out the tasks that are delegated to each of them, all right? And so they keep people busy, team members busy. It's not that some get work to do and some in the group don't get work to do, okay? They all should have their own duties and tasks to carry out. So if they are kept busy by being delegated responsibilities, everybody's gonna have something to contribute. So they will feel that they're a valued member of the group, all right? It's one guideline it asks, I know, but out of those, you could choose one and suggest. It would be best that if you're not so sure, you give at least two so they can choose one and you can get at least one as the answer. All right. And of course, we can state why the guideline will work. In my explanation a while ago, I actually did state that. Okay, so when you listen to the recording again, you will come across those reasons why the guideline will help and will work. All right. Okay, so far we've looked at 4 past paper questions that fall under the topics of social groups and institutions.